Hello and thank you for joining me. So I'm going to make a card today that I've prepared using some supplies from both Lynda's craft stash and my own. This selection of items that you can see is a die set that Lynda has and I love it. I've cut it all in white and I've layered it up. So some of these pots have got 2 layers on them and I've coloured them in with alcohol markers. So the plan is to make almost a living room scene with these. So I know it pretty much what I'm going to do with that. So I'm going to set those aside. So and it all comes together. The little watering can is also part of the set, and the cat. So I have got a square card which I'm going to have top fold today, and this is 5 7/8 square. So that is an A4 sheet of cream, 300 gram that I've folded in half at 5 7/8 is exactly the length of an A4. So I've trimmed it to 5 7/8 so it makes a square. And as I say, I'm going to have that top fold. So I'm going for a living room kind of look. So I wanted something for the flooring and something for wallpaper. So in my stash, I've got some scraps of patterned cards. So I've got this kind of dark grey, almost leathery effect, but I thought it looked like tiled flooring. So I thought I'd have that down here. And then I've got this, which was part of a paper pad, very, very old paper pad that I don't have the front for, unfortunately. So I'm really using scraps up here. So I thought this would be good as wallpaper. I'm going to sit those like that. And then so that one will go like that. And then this will overlap the bottom. And I'm going to leave a tiny little frame of cream all the way around the edge. So I'm going to stick those on now and then we'll audition this stuff. So that's the background and now I'm going to audition these things on the front. So I'm going to have the ladders there. So instantly for me, putting the feet of the ladder down instantly makes that look like a floor. I'm going to have this hanging from the ceiling on the right, I think. But I'm going to have a pot on there. So we'll do that in a moment. And I think I'm probably going to have that pot on there. But I'll show you what I'm going to do with that. And then this is going to sit on the floor, I think. Cat I want at the foot of the ladder, looking like it's going to get up to mischief. And then these will sit on each of the rungs. Something like that. Watering can, I think, can sit down beside this. I think something like that would be quite nice. So for this, it's a suspended shelf effectively. So I want this on here, but I think I'm going to tuck some of the leaves. I hope you can see that. I think I'm going to tuck some of the leaves behind. Let me get some paper, see if you can see. That'll be tucked, something like that. So let me tuck that in and stick it, and then I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so I've stuck that on, and I hope you can see that I've tucked this leaf behind there, so it looks like it is actually on the shelf. So that is going up here, and I'm going to use some quick glue for that. So I'm going to put that on first, I think. I'm now going to put the ladder on. So now I'm going to put plants on the rack. Cat next. I think the cat is going to be there. I quite like the idea of his looking at making mischief on the ladder. So I might pop him on some foam. Okay, so all those elements are on. And I think that in itself is a lovely card. With the positioning of the items, it gives a little bit of depth and the impression of maybe a garden room or the corner of a living room. So I quite like the idea of this being a new home card. So from my die sets, I found some fancy squares. So I've cut a fancy square in the same colour as the floor. So I thought that might be nice for a picture frame. And I stamped Home Sweet Home in grey on the same cream. And I'm going to stick that in there, and I'm going to pop that on the wall to make it look like a picture hanging. So I'm going to do that. So very quick to assemble. Did take a little bit of prep. I had to cut this die set out 2 or 3 times each because the rungs on this ladder are layered up, and it's all been coloured with alcohol markers. So as you can, I don't know if you can see, but there's a couple of layers of things on the pots, just to give it a little bit of dimension. So maybe a little bit of prep in front of the TV with the die machine and the alcohol markers and sticking things together, but maybe 15-20 minutes to actually put together for you today. So not very long at all to make the finished card. So I hope you've enjoyed today's content. If you have, please consider giving it a like and subscribing to the channel, as it all helps us to grow. I do enjoy making content for you, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye bye.